Hello, good evening. It's your favorite school psychologist, Nwaebiem. I am wishing you a happy Independence Day to my teachers, our educators, and our community. Hope you had a very wonderful day celebrating yourself and celebrating Nigeria. I wanted to ask you in the morning if you took your time to rest, if you took your time to reset, if you took your time to take care of yourself. I did. That's just it. So let's dive in. Earlier this week, a teacher asked me a particular question. She said she was asking how she can be productive, especially in the reading habit of her children. They are basically basic 3. That's a basic 3 class, and she has quite a number of pupils in her class, about 32. First of all, my first reaction was to wow, 32 pupils in one class and to one teacher. That's really not so wonderful. But when I inquired further, she noted that the class will be split very soon. So that is a great start, because for us to be productive as teachers, the number of pupils we are managing or the number of help or assistants we have in the class is very important. So basic 3 pupils are basically 7 to 9 years old, and each of them will vary in their reading, their strength, their reading skills. So the first thing to do is to find out their strengths. How capable are they when it comes to reading? Like, we are trying to make reading a habit. So what is their capability, their reading skill like? You have to know that first, so that you know how to start helping each and every one of them. This is just the 3rd week. Yes, the 3rd week since school resumed, and I believe that by now you should have known their basic strength. So, and one of the things, when you are trying to improve or to get children to cultivate the habit of reading, you should try as much as possible to be inclusive. That's why you have to know their strength, their abilities when it comes to reading. You have to know that, so that you can be inclusive enough. You also have to be consistent. That means that whatever you start, you should try as much as possible to let it become constant. Consistency is the key. And again, you have to include both group work and individual work. That simply means you pair them at some point, you allow them. The reason why you are pairing them is for peer learning. So peer teaching is very important. Some of them might not actually pick from you, but once it is their fellow classmate who is doing it, they'll be able to follow. Then individualized activities are also important. So what do you do? I've already asked this particular teacher, do you have a storybook for the term? Most schools do. At least I know the schools I've been with, they do. They have a storybook for the term. So that storybook for the term is very important, is key. So try as much as possible to, you are going to be creating a reading plan for them using that particular storybook. On Monday, bring out it shouldn't be much time. Something like 15 minutes, 20 minutes reading time can actually go a long way. So every day, let there be something as pertains to reading that they are doing. it also helps. So organize the time, organize the materials. Organize the time, organize the materials. So on Monday, you can maybe do something like a group reading. On Tuesday, you can do vocabulary and word games. Your puzzles will be very important here. Your puzzles, your word games, things like that. Then on Wednesday, you can do a kind of paired reading. That's 2-2. So two persons will read. They read to themselves, explain things to themselves, things like that. Then on Thursday, you can have something like individual reading practice. This is a time where they sit on their own, read to themselves. You know how to do it. You structure everything. Maybe they read to themselves and explain things like that, or they just read to themselves. Let it just be a time where they sit and read. Then on Friday, it can be reading and comprehension and quiz, things like that. It will help. This particular arrangement will give you the opportunity to rotate the reading. It will also give you opportunity to allow them to practice on their own, give you opportunity for pair teaching and reading to themselves, things like that. So group your pupils in the course of those reading. Group your pupils according to their reading levels. That means you should have at least assessed their reading levels. Create 3-4 small reading groups based on their abilities, but make sure that people whose skills are better are paired with people whose skills are not really good, so that they can help each other out. So assign a level appropriate book. You can use the storybook for the term. If there is no storybook for the term, you can get a storybook. Liaise with the school management, let them help you. Get the parents to at least get those storybooks, or if you can source from the library, fine, beautiful. Then again, use engaging reading activities, things like a story circle where they sit together, read each paragraph, discuss they discuss the story they are reading. Then you can pair them. After I've said things like that, you can pair them. The reading games are also wonderful. There are another thing you do to help them out in making reading a habit. Sometimes make reading fun. Connect what they are reading to real life issues, to real life stories. For example, today is Nigerian Independence Day. We are celebrating our Independence Day. You can get a story, write something, you can print it out, share it to them. Do you understand? In the spirit of what we are celebrating. So always make reading kind of structure it into the normal activities, celebrations, center it. It makes it fun and it makes them learn a few things. Then you can also build a mini class library. This past week, I was listening to a particular teacher who was talking about how she was able to get her pupils to read. And one thing I found out was that she created a library in the class. So pupils are free to borrow the books from the library, go home, read, exchange, things like that. So ask for book donations if you can, source from the school, display them. Let your pupils choose what they get to read, especially during the weekends. So before you go, pick a book. Then when you come back, just a small storybook, make it interesting themes and things like that. You'll find out that before you know it, most of these children, most of your pupils will start coming. It will start coming. They will become interested. Again, you can track and celebrate progress. I remember what my basic 5 teacher did for me. Hers was poems. So she encouraged me, she reinforced me with gifts and things like that. And you will see me, I will just go home. I'll pick those poems, I will read and get it in my memory, come back to class and recite, things like that. So track their progress, reinforce is very, very important. Again, is to involve their parents. How do you involve their parents? Ask their parents to read with them at home for 15 minutes. That's what I do with my kids. Read with them probably 15 minutes before they go to bed, things like that. So then provide reading cards for them to take home. So what would the reading cards be like? That's for parents to report on how their children, to report on their children's reading habits. Then liaise with the parents, encourage the parents to create time at home for the children to read, even if they are not reading with them, but let there be a time where they read. So for this purpose, you will be needing so many things: sight word charts, you'll be needing phonics flashcard, things like that, printable storybooks. You go online. For example, I have a section with my students tomorrow, and I have my story handy for that particular section. So you can do yours like that. Go online, get some stories, print it out, distribute, get the children to read, if not in school, probably at home, things like that. So you can also ask them to start a reading journal. Whatever they read, they log it into their journal. It will also help them and also help you to keep track of their reading. Then timers for reading games, things like that. So there are so many ways to make reading fun and to inculcate it into their timetable. It's now left for you as a teacher. From all these things I've said, I believe you can pick one or two things, which when you do it and you start and you are consistently doing it, you find out that most of them will pick it up. So thank you very much. I believe this answers your question. I have answered your question, my dear. So let me know how far you are going. Let me know any other question. I will gladly answer it. My aim is to make sure that you are effective as a teacher. Thank you very much. Have a very glorious week ahead. Hope you are ready for tomorrow. Thank you.